Here we are where we left off in episode 2 at the end of the search process. Let's put this model that we have found into Mrs. Jones's portfolio. To do that, we merely click on the model to make sure that it's selected with this box around it, and then we click the Add to SPI or Starting Point Inventory, and our model immediately appears as a job bag in Mrs. Jones's portfolio. To move into the Customize section of CounterSketch, we can proceed in a number of ways. You can simply double-click on the model that you have selected in the search window, or you can double-click on a model in the portfolio window. Let's double-click on the model in Mrs. Jones's portfolio. CounterSketch will now load the model onto the sketchpad, and you will notice that in the Action tabs, CounterSketch has shifted from Search into Customize, and underneath the Customize, you will see the various items in the model design stack. Before we move into the design stack, let's take a look at the model and talk a little bit about what you can do with it. You can rotate the model by holding down the right mouse button and moving your mouse from side to side or up and down to tip the model. You can press the Shift key on your keyboard and hold down the right mouse button and pan the model from left to right. You can zoom in and out by using your scroll wheel and enlarge or make the model smaller in the design pad window. So there's a great deal of selling that you can do right on the sketchpad. All right. Let's move into the design stack and have a look at what we can do with this model. In the design stack, you will notice that there are major categories, and each of these can be opened by clicking on the little expand arrow on the title. And when you open an item in the design stack, you will see the various controls that you have access to alter the model. You can change the finger size up and down. You can often change the outside ring shape to quite radically alter the look of the ring. Here we have a traditional round band. Let's have a look at what happens if we change this to the Euro shank. Simply select the item that you want and click on it with the left mouse button. You will see that the item that is now being used in the stack is highlighted, and you will also notice right away that our model has shifted from being a round band to being a Euro shank. You have control of the thickness and span of the bridge in this particular model. You can change the collar shapes, which are here. Let's just do that. We have a domed shape. If we were to look at those inside collars, we could make them squarish. And of course, if we did that, we would probably want to make the outside collars rather more square as well. And you can continue on down through this stack, making changes and working with the model until you and your customer arrive at a look that is really appealing to her. If at some stage during the process you find that you have moved the model too far away from where it originally was and you would like to go back to the starting point inventory, all you do is click on this Reset Design arrow, and the CounterSketch will ask you if you want to save your work as in a job bag in the portfolio the way it is, or if you want to just continue on. And in this case, we're just going to revert back to the original way the model was presented in the SPI. You will have control of various aspects of the gem. In the center gem, we can make the stone larger or smaller, and we'll just drag that up to a little over 3 carat. And you'll notice that when we do that in this particular model, there are other changes that are necessary. For instance, it is obvious that we need to make that gem sit a little higher in the mounting to accommodate the larger stone size. And we have control over that simply by pushing this slider up. In this model, you can also look at rotating the gem by 45 degrees, and that makes quite an interesting change in itself. Let's bring the center stone back down to about a carat 35, and once again adjust the stone height, and there it is rotated. You will have control of the various aspects of the channel gem. For instance, in this particular setup we have princess cut, but it would be just as easy to look at this with either alternating princess cuts and rounds or all rounds. Once again, just a click. Or perhaps you would like to consider this ring without any channel gems, and we simply click the on-off switch, and there we have the model with a plain shank. Let's turn those channel gems back on again with a click, and let's look at another aspect that you could customize. Perhaps your customer likes everything about this except she would prefer not to have the milligrain beading on the side. Again, that's an easy change. Simply select the on-off for the milligrain and click it once, and now we have the model with the milligrain turned off. It's very important that you explore the models in your CounterSketch inventory. Spend some quiet time and go through them in detail and see what you can do, so that when you give your presentations to your customer, you will be familiar with your models and you'll be able to do a really nice job showing her the various options.